Money. Money.
And for Money Chat today, I thought I would talk about low appraisals. If you are out in the market purchasing a property, you may be hearing about the chance that possibly an appraisal could come in low. Unfortunately, it is happening. A low appraisal can happen, and suddenly you find yourself in a conundrum. Your bank will fund the loan only based on the appraised value. It's the purchase price or the appraised value, the lower of the two. So you can you've got three options. You can walk away from the sale as long as you haven't waived your earnest money or the appraisal because you're financing or the appraisal. Otherwise, you're at risk of you would lose your earnest money. Or you can fork up the difference and come in with the difference between the low appraisal and the agreed upon price that you made with the seller. Or you can go back to the negotiating table with the seller to see if they're willing to match or help with that. So those are the options that you have. Now, I wanted to share some common reasons why an appraisal may come in low. The appraiser doesn't do a neighborhood deep dive. The appraisal value of the property, the appraisers rely heavily on the comps, which are priced paid for similar homes that sold recently. But the appraiser could select comps of homes that are sold for mysteriously lower prices. Now, apparently, the appraisers don't normally officially inspect the comps. They wouldn't know if there was possible mold issue, maybe a nasty divorce that happened that would cause the sellers to sell at a below market price. And something else is throwing off those numbers. So it's important to make sure that your realtor has provided some comps and work that they've done up front to share with the appraiser, because again, your realtor has done all of this work ahead of time. So preparing and providing that information to the appraiser may be able to help the situation. Now, the appraiser has to go outside the neighborhood. Sometimes there's not enough data on the sales and similar homes in the area, forcing the appraiser to use comps from a nearby or possibly less desirable community. Ideal comps should be similar in size, style, location, and view. Now, the importance of a view. Does your home have a view, a knockout view, or at least one that's better than the comps down the street that overlooks unsightly maybe some power lines? If so, make sure that your appraiser knows that this is the case. If the difference in the view is obvious, your home could appraise for lower than expected. Now, a generous basement. The house has a large, beautiful, finished basement with a bedroom and a bathroom. You've doubled your square footage. Unfortunately, appraisers are required to use much lower value per square footage for that space below ground, so that could cause an issue as well. What about the extras that totally sold you? Well, maybe they didn't totally sell the appraiser as far as what they can use to support the value. Surprisingly, pools, tennis courts, high-end landscaping are really attractive features, but they frequently don't lead to significant higher values on the appraisal. So when an appraiser compares two otherwise identical homes, one with the amenities and one without, the difference in the selling price is typically not nearly as much as the cost of adding these features, especially when the amenities are better than quality than what the standard is for the area. Another common thing that can come up with a low appraised value would be condo in the best condo sell in that building. Upgrades and finishes might not always boost up the value of the home. This is particularly true of condos where the square footage plays a major value in the home. Now, with condos, it can get tricky if there's not comparables that have actually sold, or there's comparables that have actually sold in that complex. Appraiser can't reach out and go outside of the complex if there's properties, units within the complex that have actually sold. So that can cause an issue if obviously they're selling for a lower price. Now, the market is too hot to keep up with values. This is where I think the big issue is coming in when there is a low appraisal. Home prices in the area might be increasing so quickly that the comps that sold 6 months ago don't yet reflect the improvement in price. Now, prices are soaring and properties are selling for record price per foot. So appraisers by nature are backward looking. You can ask an appraiser to make a market adjustment, but they don't have to do that. And if the appraisal comes in low and the new comps are now available, so let's say you've got a low appraisal, you can go back and ask the appraiser to go back and use new comps that have sold for a higher price. Here's where the issue is. When they've sold 30 days after you've made the offer on the property, what the appraiser is most likely going to say is those comps they really can't use because 30 days after you put a contract together and agreed on that price with the seller, there's been a market increase in property value. So 30 days is a long ways after the contract. So those are not actual comps that they can use. Now, intentionally overpaid for the property. This is happening to where this is your dream house and you really want to get it. You're in a multiple offer scenario and you know you're paying a higher price for the home. You've just got to be anticipating that there might be challenges, again, being able to support that value. Now, we had an appraiser come into an event that I went to, a leading industry appraiser, which I am working on getting him in studio because just a wealth of information. Those of you that are regular listeners to the show, you know that I do mortgages for a living, and I've actually been in the mortgage industry for 20 years. And it's exciting to constantly be hearing new things from experts that are outside of my industry, but affect what I'm doing in my industry every day, day in and day out. And this appraiser came up with a couple things that I want to share with you. One is with people that are lower down payments, property buyers that are competing with people that are coming in with higher down payments. So let's say that you're a 5% down payment and you're competing with a buyer that's doing 20, 30% down, or even worse, a buyer's that coming in for cash. And your offer happens to be at the high end of those offers. The appraiser is going to be considering the possibility that you were forced to pay a higher price for the property to compete with the other offers that are better offers because they're coming in with a larger down payment. So that could affect the appraiser's opinion in being able to support that price, which was knowledge and interesting information for me, again, to hear how an appraiser is looking at things. Now, the appraiser also said, as I said a little bit earlier, he highly recommended that preparation for your realtor, sharing the preparation that your realtor did is key. Your realtor has already done all the work. Why not share it with the appraiser? Put a nice package together, leave it for the appraiser because they may not be doing the same extent on the work that your realtor is in helping you decide whether that's a good price to pay for the home. So make sure that your realtor is providing that information to the appraiser. They've got it. Remember, there's appraiser's opinion, so you want the appraiser to be on your side and really look that everybody is helping in being able to support that value. So that's my money chat for the day. Low appraisals, they may happen moving forward if that happens. Coming up next in the Money Hour, Seattle King County Realtors provides perspectives on state and local economy from national recognized regional experts and helps educate on job creation, tax revenues, and government budgets. I have Patty Hill with Windermere Real Estate Northwest and acting president for Seattle King County Realtors right here on 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.